tell me what to do. I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions, they blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen, that shit is all fiction cause you hold the...
Happy New Year! Would you like to win the money lottery every time? Well, who doesn't? Everybody likes a sure thing.
Tip, I'm a sure thing. Okay, so I'm on an hourly rate. Could we just move along?
Somehow.
Actually, it is possible to win all the time. All it requires is determination, persistence, combined with a little bit of sacrifice, and the realization that delayed gratification is key. And no, this is not a sex thing. Let's start off with some stats. What are the odds of winning the lottery? Well, if we're talking about real money, there's a lot of different possibilities. However, they are all in the millions of a chance to win. As Morgan Housel famously said, you are more likely to get killed by a car on the way to buy that lottery ticket than you are actually winning the big prize. There is around 0.013% chance or risk of you getting killed by a car, but the odds for the most popular lotteries are Mega Millions. The odds are 302,575,000 to 1. That's a 0.0000003% chance of winning. Yes, that was 6 zeros. Man. And so it goes on. Powerball is 292 million to 1. Lucky for Life is almost 31 million to 1. Lotto America is around 26 million to 1, and so on and so on and so on. Incredibly low odds. Okay, so that's pretty bad odds. And no matter what hopium you're on, that's not a good idea to spend your hard-earned money on. But wait a second. Which lottery has the best odds then? Well, the top 3 lotteries with the best odds of winning are 2x2 in Kansas, Nebraska, North Dakota and Wyoming, Texas Cash 5 and Fantasy 5 in Florida. These have the best odds in the US. The best odds of winning a prize of any kind are also 2x2 at just 1 in 4. But wait, what does that have to do with winning the lottery? The video title says you can win every time. Yep, that's true. As I mentioned, there are some requirements to win. You need determination, you need persistence, and you need to be able to sacrifice and have a delayed gratification. Typically, these requirements filter away most people, as most people want to get rich now and don't have the patience to wait. Of course, I'm talking about investing and not gambling or anything else.
It's not fair to toy with people's emotions like that.
And when people realize that the odds of making money in equity investing are almost guaranteed, the answer is pretty simple. The only requirement is that you have the determination, the patience, and the more you can sacrifice in the beginning, the faster you will get there. If we look historically, the odds for a guaranteed return when investing, let's say in the S&P 500, are almost 100% over 15 years. As you can see, after only 5 years of investing, success is almost a sure thing. Okay, so the longer we are invested, the higher our chance of getting returns from the stock market. Fine, but I want to become a millionaire. What will that take? Well, first we establish the rate of return. My example uses a portfolio with 50% in VOO, that's the S&P 500 from Vanguard ETF, and 50% in VGT, Vanguard Technology ETF, which is for the tech sector. Yes, I know, there is a lot of overlap in these ETFs, but VGT is only to supercharge the returns. During the last 10 years, this combo would have given you almost 18% compound annual growth. I'm using 15% as my value in the calculations. By the way, if we used VGT alone, the last 10 years' return would have been almost 21% compound annual growth. So I'm pretty confident 15% is attainable. So let's say you're 20 years old and you want to become a millionaire before you're 40. If you, let's say, started with $1,000 and invest $800 every month for 20 years, you would get there. Whoa, that's a lot of money for a long time. Maybe we need to have a little bit longer time. What if I wanted to live a little too, and I could wait becoming a millionaire, let's say by the age of 50? Well, we start with $1,000, and let's say we invest $180 a month. That's doable. See how those extra 10 years dramatically improves the end result? That's the power of compounding. Now, that's actually something we can manage, and remember, the older we get, the more we probably will make, and we would be able to invest a lot more than $180 a month. Let's say when we're in our 30s or 40s. The takeaway here is the power of compounding is amazing. It requires few ingredients, and the most important one is time. If you also add consistency and invest regularly, the results are phenomenal. Just to show you what I mean, let's say we saved up $5,000, invested them at the age of 20, and never looked at that account again. Never ever looked at the account. When we retire at 60, that's 40 years, those $5,000 would have grown into $1.3 million. We never touched it, we never invested again, we never did anything. Now, imagine we could manage to invest, let's say, $200 every month. In the beginning, it would be a bit tough, but it would be a breeze when we get older, and we could step it up. Well, $5,000 as the principal, $200 every month, we would end up with around $5.6 million. Yeah, now we're talking real money. But hey, I don't want to wait till I'm 60 to be rich. Okay, yes, then we are back to give it all you got for some years, start reaping the benefits while you're still young. I spent almost 10 years being extremely frugal. I still went out, just only once a week, and I still had fun. I just didn't buy stupid stuff to impress someone else. Thus, I managed to invest over 50% of my income for some years. Remember, the odds for getting returns in the stock market. Time will help you. And now we come to the real fun part, when the compounding machine gets almost unstoppable. Yes, getting to that first 100,000 or a million is a bit hard, I admit that. But eventually you will hit that number, and after that, it all becomes a whole lot easier because of the compounding effect and how it becomes exponential over time. Most people can't really comprehend what exponential means. For instance, what is 3 to the power of 3? Well, that's fairly easy. It's 27.
15 minutes.
What is 3 cubed?
9.
9. Okay. What is 3 times 3 times 3?
9.
9, okay.
Am I getting him right?
But what is 3 to the power of 10? No, it's actually 59,049. We humans have difficulty understanding something that isn't linear. But let's make it simple. Let's say we had 100,000 in our portfolio. 10% of 100,000 is 10,000. So, if we get 10% a year, we would have 110,000 the first year. Next year, 10% on those 110,000 is 11,000, giving us 121,000. And again, 10% on that, 12,100, giving us 133,100. And 10%, 146,410. You get the point. The gains on the previous gains are compounding. And when we get to year 8, the investment has more than doubled, and just look at the curve over time. That's why, the earlier we start, the more we can invest in the beginning. This is key. It will accumulate more, and the money making more money is a reality. And as I said, this is where the fun begins. Let's say you have everything covered in your normal retirement portfolio like an IRA. So you got your basic needs covered when you're retired. Now you have a separate portfolio which has been compounding for, let's say, 20 years, and you now have $1 million. This is possible, as I've shown you just before.
Impressive.
Remember, we could get there faster by investing more in some months. But let's imagine We have this million, we're now retired, and now we get 10% on that $1 million portfolio, before inflation, mind you. 10% on $1 million is 100,000. I don't need 100,000 every year to live well. I maybe need 60, 70k. So I withdraw 65k. Now there's still 1,035,000 left. Next year, hopefully, there's 1,138,500 in the portfolio. See? The portfolio is growing, even though I withdraw what I need.
What an amazing concept!
There is a risk, however. If we enter a lost decade, or the stock market tanks and takes some years to recover, or just a few years where we only get a low percentage gain, there's the risk. That's why I have started a dividend portfolio. Yes, I know, it reduces my gains, and yes, I know, I'm spreading my investments. But I'd rather have the security, and I'm willing to accept the consequence. Remember, I also have other portfolios, and I also have my basic retirement accounts, so I'm covered. But it is always a hard question. Should I invest in growth and accept the risk, or maybe a dividend portfolio which gives extra security but lower returns? Some people even use growth dividend portfolios. They could also make sense. They're just a bit more risky and don't give that high return. You need to find the setup the mix that works for you and your risk tolerance. My plan is not set in stone. Initially, I wanted to sell all my growth stocks when they hit around 3 million and then invest in a pure dividend portfolio through a trust. But let's see what I'll do. I haven't even figured that out myself. Right now, my kids have their own investment portfolios, and they're currently growing at around 20% a year. If they just invest regularly, they will be millionaires before the age of 30. So, maybe I'll go for the die with zero approach. But let's see.
But get to the point. Sure.
But the point of this video is for you to be confirmed in the idea that the stock market is a very good place to be, and you should never follow the crowd and buy the new shiny thing. You should find the recipe that works for you. You and you only. Get inspirations from others. Don't copy someone you have no idea of how they're doing, what their risk tolerance is, what their income, background, etc. And as Peter Lynch said, if you can't explain it to a 5-year-old while you own a stock, you shouldn't own it. Just because some stock is doubling or increasing like crazy, it's not a buy signal. Actually, I'm a big believer in ETFs, and if you see my last video on the best portfolio ever, you can get inspiration for how you can make up to 20% compound annual growth just by using ETFs. Or maybe look at my dividend portfolio video, where I'm currently getting almost 12% in dividends a year. I hope this video gave you some inspiration, maybe to hit that like and subscribe button. Maybe the next video you should watch could be the one around my dividend portfolio. Thanks for watching all the way to the end, and as always, remember, the best investment you can do is in you. The more you learn, the more you earn. Bye!
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in the ninth inning, there ain't no point.